Hey guys, Tony Hannity's here from LazyTechGuys.com, and this is the OnePlus 2. Stay tuned. This is the OnePlus 2, the 2016 self-titled flagship killer. OnePlus 2 has a 5.5-inch screen. It runs Android 5.1.1 and runs the new Oxygen OS version 2.0. There's been a lot of leaks and rumors in the past weeks and months, so let's take a look at what is really real about this phone. In the box, obviously you get the phone, some instructions, and USB and wall charger. There was some talk that maybe it would come with headphones, but as it seems that is not the case. OnePlus has also introduced Style Swap, the ability to swap out the rear covers with colors from black apricot, Kevlar, bamboo, rosewood, and of course sandstone black. Taking off the cover wasn't that easy, but once you do, you get these slots for the 2 SIMs, no removable battery, and no microSD card slot. Even so, that's not necessarily a deal killer. The OnePlus 2 is a solid phone, with the power and volume switches on the right, a new switch called Alert Switch on the left. This allows you to switch your notifications from off, priority only, and all on. Also, of course, at the top, you're going to have your headphone jack, and lo and behold, on the bottom, dual stereo speakers with USB Type-C charging. This is the first phone worldwide to launch with USB Type-C. The really nifty feature about this cable that it comes with is the USB that plugs into your computer is also similar to Type-C. Doesn't matter if you plug it in upside down or right side up, it plugs in fine. As you can see with the Surface Pro 3, you're good to go. One improvement on the OnePlus 2 is the camera. You've got a 13 megapixel 6-lens camera with OIS and laser focus, similar to the LG G4. From what I could tell, the photos were really cool. Now there's no manual mode with ISO or the shutter, but you do have a manual exposure mode. So instead of tapping on a dark area to brighten it up, when you tap on the screen, you have the focus area, and then you have a scroll bar that allows you to swivel left to right to darken or lighten the photo. Low light photos weren't bad, and video does shoot in 4K. And the front-facing camera is 5 megapixels, so pretty good there too. Overall, the hardware of the OnePlus 2 is solid. It is unibody, metal design, non-removable battery, metal all the way around. It's a little big, kind of have to shimmy up and down to get to the switches and whatnot, but that is something that you can easily get used to. We did get a chance to take a look at the OnePlus 2 versus the OnePlus One. OnePlus One was a nice design, but compared to the OnePlus 2, you can definitely see they've put a lot of focus into its design quality. It is thicker, but it's stronger. And overall, it feels like a more premium build compared to the first iteration. When it comes to the software of the OnePlus 2, it is running, as we mentioned earlier, 5.1.1 and Oxygen version 2.0. If you have a OnePlus One, probably not going to get Oxygen 2.0. Oxygen allows you to do some gesture capabilities on the screen, and overall, one of the newest features is called Shelf. This is in beta, and this is going to be tested by the community and improved by the community. When you swipe right, you get not Google Now, but your most recently used apps as well as your frequently accessed contacts. This is not your typical launcher, and there's a lot of launchers out there that do the same thing, but OnePlus is just testing it out to see what works best for them. Also, a feature that is new to Android M, but OnePlus got the jump on it, is the ability to toggle and rearrange your toggle switches in the notification shade. This is something that they've been working on for quite some time. Also, something that I really liked is, as we mentioned before, SIM cards will be dual SIM cards. So even here in the States, you could have both AT&T and T-Mobile. Buttons, you can turn off and on the capacitive and the on-screen buttons, but that's indicative of the OnePlus One, so nothing really new there. But there was a new feature called customization. This allows you to turn the whole phone into a dark mode. So instead of a white background, you get a black background. You also have the ability to change the accent color, so further customization of the phone to your liking instead of how it was when it came out of the box. I'm not really a fan of changing the colors myself, but again, that's why OnePlus gives everybody the option to what they want to have. Now, one feature that was rumored and actually announced was the fingerprint scanner. We tested it out. It took about 2 minutes to set up. I would say 99% of the time, the fingerprint scanner worked perfectly. The only time that it didn't work was when the screen was off and I did have to turn it on before I scanned my finger. But again, this is a pre-production build, so maybe they would change that in the future. But this heightens the security for your phone, which is always welcome. It's very snappy with 4 gigabytes of RAM, and this phone will be available very soon through invite only, and it will be as low as $329 for the 16 gigabyte model and $389 for the 64 gigabyte model. If you want the swappable backs, those will be $30 each. The OnePlus 2 is a gorgeous device. It feels very solid in the hand. Although it's a little bit bigger than some of your run-of-the-mill phones, at 5.5 inches, it's not that bad. There's a little bit of a shimmy that you have to do when you're going up to the volume switches and trying to use your index finger on this little toggle switch for your notifications and go into priority mode. That's something to get used to. But at first impression, I'm very, very impressed with what they've done with the OnePlus 2. There are 2 more things that we as reviewers are going to find out in the upcoming weeks: battery life and how good the Snapdragon 810 processor is in the OnePlus 2. As we have found out over the past few weeks, a lot of the other OEMs have been using the version 2.1 in a lot of their smartphones, and they did have overheating issues. And no word on if the OnePlus 2 does or doesn't as of this point, but obviously that's something that all of us are going to find out. As of this point, I wouldn't say whether I would definitely recommend or not recommend the OnePlus 2. It is gorgeous, very solid, and it's probably right now, just at face value, one of the top level looking smartphones that's out there. Flagship killer? I don't know. That's going to take time. That is something a full-on review would definitely dive into. But for right now, I'm very, very happy with it. So stay tuned to LazyTechGuys.com, LazyTech TV here on YouTube. And if you have any questions or comments, leave it in the section below. Like us, subscribe, and thanks again. Peace.